Tonight, Mourinho fires shot at De Boer.
Didier Drogba set to retire.
We check in on the latest from the NBA.
Venus gets the better of Sister Serena.
And the Tirreno Adriatico goes down to the wire.
Good evening and welcome to Kwese Sports News, where we inform, delight and entertain you.
From our beautiful continent of Africa and all around the globe, we bring you all the latest in the world of sport.
We kickstart with the Champions League action as Manchester United welcomes Sevilla to Old Trafford tonight with a place in the quarters up for grabs. Both teams played out a first-leg goalless draw in Spain, with Jose Mourinho's side earmarked as slight favourites at the Theatre of Dreams. Mo says anything is possible if they win, despite not being outright favourites.
I think we are not one of the best teams in the competition. But I think when a team arrives in the last state, anything can happen. I think when you are in the last 16, it looks really, really far. But when the team gets in the last state, you start smelling semi-finals. And I think when a team gets into the last state, the feeling is, of course, you are amongst the best. But anything can happen.
Sevilla, meanwhile, have never won a UCL game in England.
For Sevilla and for me, it is going to be a very special match. To reach the knockout stages will be a historic moment for the club. We are filled with belief and we are looking forward to the game. The stadium is an emblematic symbol for the world of football. So to play here is a dream and we'll have to enjoy the game.
Vincenzo Montella is hoping his team book a last 8th place for the first time in 60 years.
This will be a game where it will be very complicated on the pitch. We are up against a great opponent with great players, a great manager and a club with great history. We know we'll have to give our all and take our chances. We are ready to do all of that.
In the other second leg tie tonight, Roma host Ukrainian outfit Shakhtar Donetsk. They hope to overturn a 2-1 deficit at the Stadio Olimpico. Staying at Old Trafford, Mourinho has continued his ruthless streak of unleashing his fury on fellow managers. Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger, Rafa Benitez and Antonio Conte have all been on the receiving end in recent times. Frank de Boer, who questioned Jose's handling of Marcus Rashford, is the latest victim.
I read something, some quote from the worst manager in the history of the Premier League. Frank de Boer, 7 matches, 7 defeats, 0 goals, where he was saying that it's not good for Marcus Rashford to have a coach like me, because the most important thing for me is to win. If he was coached by Frank, he would learn how to lose, because he lost every game.
One man who is backing a United victory tonight is former captain Ryan Giggs. The current Wales boss believes the team's impressive home form will play a part against the Spanish side. In fact, the Red Devils have won every game at Old Trafford in all competitions in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a dangerous score, 0-0. We had it a few times. We went to Real Madrid, drew 0-0. Everyone thought it was a great result, but you know, you're always susceptible to that away goal, which will count as double, obviously. So yeah, I mean, it's not over, but I think you see the strength of United at home. Don't get beat very often. No, I think they'll go through, and I think they'll go through quite comfortably.
Mourinho's Chargers have won 17 of their 20 competitive matches at home this season. Staying with the Manchester United theme, Michael Carrick has decided it's time to call it quits, and it seems he's not the only player who has decided to hang up their boots come the end of the season.
Carrick has been restricted to only 4 appearances this season for the Red Devils because of his irregular heart rhythm. The Manchester United man learned of his heart issue last year. September 2017, he was captain for the 4-1 Carabao Cup victory over Burton at Old Trafford, and a long absence ensued after that. It was then that the midfielder issued a statement claiming that due to his condition, he had to undergo surgery to correct his abnormal heart rhythm. It is rumoured he will remain with United in what they call a non-playing role.
And having never picked up silverware at either West Ham or Tottenham, Carrick's time at United has been trophy-laden with 5 league titles as well as Champions League and Europa League winners' medal. And while we bid farewell to Carrick, Chelsea and Ivory Coast legend Didier Drogba has also decided to call it a day.
Chelsea legend Didier Drogba has decided to call it a day. The 40-year-old announced his retirement the day after celebrating his birthday. Drogba was rumoured to be going back to his former club Marseille, where he won the UEFA Cup in 2004, to take up a boardroom role. The owner-player says although he joined the footballing fraternity late, he has had a great time living his passion on football pitches the world over.
The mighty Ivorian can start to look back on a stellar career. Having become a household name at Chelsea, Drogba lifted the Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League trophies during his time at Stamford Bridge.
Last night, David Silva scored a brace as Manchester City eased past Stoke 2-0. If City beat Everton in their next league fixture, they can mathematically clinch the title when they host eternal rivals United on the 7th of April. Pep Guardiola is, however, not keen on those permutations.
Yeah, everybody. So it's the fifth journalist asked me the same question. So the important is that 12th of March we have 81 points. That is a lot. So a lot of points. We want to be champions. Depends on our hands. We need 3 games, or maybe we want to Goodison Park 2 games if we are able to beat. But believe me, before and after United, you have quarterfinals, and now in that moment is the most important thing to focus in the quarterfinals. So no important. It's not important. I understand for the fans, okay, but the important is to be champions. When, where, it doesn't matter.
And with their victory, the citizens restored their massive 16-point advantage atop the Premier League standings. United, Spurs, Liverpool and Chelsea make up the top 5. From one graceful manager to a rather unfortunate one. Sitting just a point above the relegation zone, Southampton have sacked manager Mauricio Pellegrino. A disastrous run of form has seen the Saints manage just a single victory in their last 17 league games. The 46-year-old Argentine was appointed in June, replacing Claude Puel. Statistically, Pellegrino averaged 0.93 points per game, the 3rd worst tally of any Southampton boss in the Premier League era. Since their promotion, the Saints have not finished lower than 14th. The club will be hoping to appoint a new manager before facing Wigan in the FA Cup quarters this weekend. Pellegrino's sacking means that 6 of the bottom 7 clubs have now axed their managers, with Huddersfield the exception. Pellegrino lasted just 254 days, managing just 8 victories across all competitions over 34 games in charge.
On the international scene, despite having their talisman on the sidelines through injury, Brazil coach Tite says Neymar is still very much in his plans for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. The football spectacle kicks off in 3 months' time, but before then, the Seleção have friendlies against the host and Germany. The PSG striker will not be involved in those matches as he races against time to recover.
Our first concern is the athlete's health. If we want a successful World Cup, we can't rush him. He's among the top 3 in the world, but strong teams can be built no matter which names they have available. Team strength is important, and we must have enough to face the adversity of his injury. We are planning to have him at the World Cup. If we take a look at the positive side, when he does present himself to the national team, Neymar will have less games played than what he would have if not for the injury. Obviously, we prefer that he was fit. It's always better if the player has 100% of his physical, technical and tactical conditioning.
Brazil have won 5 World Cups and are the only team to have attended every tournament. For this, Tite counts themselves amongst the favourites.
Germany, Spain, France, Brazil, I think they're, in my opinion, at a level where they are theoretically a little bit superior to the other teams. Portugal, Argentina and Belgium have the best players in the world. I think these are the favorites, but we can't forget about the surprise packages like Croatia.
Neymar will have the full attention of Brazil's medical staff between now and the Seleção's first group game against Switzerland in June. The Samba boys will also face Costa Rica and Serbia in Group E. The city of Buenos Aires in Argentina is known for its iconic football stadia, from River Plate's Estadio Monumental to Boca Juniors' La Bombonera. Now, graphic designer Martin Setula has come up with a creative way for football fans to get a chance to play at the most famous arenas. In a workshop 130 miles from the capital, Setula makes the most iconic stadia fit into the classic foosball tables. Fans get a chance to play at home with the same colors, singing the same songs. Building a football table with the same exact design of a stadium takes them at least a week.
The only difference between an adult and a child is the value of the toys. There's a little child in all of us. The scope of a football table is so wide because there's no age, no gender, no religion or politics. There's only one language, and that is playing well and having fun.
The designer has recreated renowned venues such as Real Madrid's home, the Santiago Bernabeu and Malaysia's Johor Stadium.
I started with Boca Stadium La Bombonera. That was the first one I made. Afterwards, the second one was Independientes. Then came River Plate. I tried to postpone River Stadium a little further because of its complexity.
I know what to ask Santa for this Christmas. Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich are doing their bit for football development in Africa. The FC Bayern Youth Cup features young aspiring footballers from around the world. And this year, Nigeria will be the first nation from the continent to participate in the global event.
The first ever FC Bayern Youth Cup tournament in Nigeria came to an exciting end in Abuja, with 10 players under the age of 16 selected to represent the West African country in the World Finals tournament in Germany later this year. The tournament played using the 7-a-side format, so 8 teams who won the state tournament battle it out for the national title in a thrilling finale. 12 teams had tussled for the state title in a grueling 2-week round-robin contest.
In terms of formats, what the kids are being taught, we're trying to just change it. And this is a very small part of it. It's a big name who are backing this, but it's very, very little. So it doesn't matter the name. It's about the kids. It's about improving Nigerian sport. It's about giving Nigerian kids an opportunity.
Teams that made it to the finals also had the chance to see and take photos with the Bundesliga trophy. The FC Bayern Youth Cup is an international 7-a-side tournament for under-16 teams representing different countries and has been hosted annually since 2012. Teams from Asia, Europe, North and South America take part in the event. Nigeria will be the first African team to take part in the competition.
Though only 4 games played out overnight in the NBA, the action was as hot as ever. A Texas showdown saw Houston take on San Antonio in an entertaining encounter. Though their 17-game winning run ended recently, the Rockets are looking like champion material.
They are looking the real deal, Adelani. The Rockets beat the San Antonio Spurs 109-93, handing Greg Popovich's squad their 3rd straight loss and their 5th in their last 6 games. Houston got NBA leading scorer James Harden back after missing a game versus the Mavericks due to a sore left knee. Now, the Beard dropped in a team-high 28 points in the W. The Spurs, who are still without Kawhi Leonard and were missing forwards LaMarcus Aldridge due to a painful knee. They sit in 10th place in the Western Conference, still fighting for a playoff spot with a record of 37-30.
Spurs in 10th, wow. Could they actually lose out on the playoffs? The last time they missed the postseason was 1997.
Well, Adelani, Popovich is a man who has not had a losing season in 20 years. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with the Spurs, since there's talk of Kawhi Leonard possibly making a return in the next week or so. I'd say if he comes back, they still have a chance.
Now on to a team who I think are potentially dark horses, Dame Lillard and the Trailblazers.
Yeah, Dad, just a few days ago, Draymond Green of the Warriors said they're always a threat after losing to Portland twice in 1 month. Well, the Blazers got yet another win, beating the Miami Heat 115-99 this morning. Lillard, who has been sensational all season, he finished with a double-double, 32 points and 10 assists. The Blazers have the longest active winning streak in the NBA with 10 straight wins and have a 2-game lead over the Oklahoma City Thunder for third spot in the Western Conference.
Thanks, Mr. Bwanikawa. Elsewhere this morning, the Thunders proved too strong for the Kings in Oklahoma, while the Bucks saw off the Grizzlies. Tomorrow, the 76ers and Suns host the Pacers and Cavaliers respectively, live on Kwese. Staying with basketball, Philadelphia's 76ers big man Joel Embiid is already eyeing a future in another sport should b-ball get boring. Earlier this week, the Cameroonian joked on social media that he could switch to the NFL and partner with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. It's no secret the Panthers are in the market for a wide receiver. Newton, the 2015 NFL MVP, quickly responded by telling Embiid there's always room for his services, with billionaire Michael Rubin, who owns a stake in the 76ers, bidding to buy the Panthers. Never say never. With NBA/NFL crossover rumors jamming up, Juju Smith is trying to get LeBron James to join the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, the Instagram bio says it all, as he aims to settle LeBron's free agency decision.
Up next, Venus takes the W against sister Serena.
And individual time trial determines blue jersey winner.
If your life was a movie, wouldn't it be great to direct your set how and when you like? With Kumi, now you can. You can control and monitor your home and family right from your smartphone. Check your business from anywhere. And get checked on and see a doctor wherever you are in the world. Kumi have created a seamless platform that brings control and monitoring of your health, home, and office right to your fingertips. Some call it the Internet of Things. At Kumi, we're just connecting life.
Kumi, connected life.
Welcome back, sports fans. You're still watching Kwese Sports News.
That's right, we come to you live Monday to Friday at 1900 hours Central African Time. With the round-robin fixtures in the Cricket World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe now concluded, all eyes will be on the Super Sixes. Dirk and Jeffrey bring us the latest from Harare and Bulawayo and explain just how the second round of the tournament works.
So the pool stage is now concluded here at the ICC World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Group A, remember, were based in Harare, and Group B in Bulawayo. And Group A, for a couple of weeks, we've been telling you every single day, not as exciting as what's been happening in Bulawayo. However, we can tell you West Indies have qualified top of the pool, Ireland in second place and the UAE in third. What will happen next is a Super Six scenario. 3 top teams in Group A will meet the 3 top teams in Group B. They will carry the points that they played against in their own pool, which means that although West Indies finished top of the log in Group A and won 4 from 4, picking up 8 points, they will only carry the points against the teams within their own pool. They managed to win both of them. They will go through with 4 points. Ireland, having won only 1 against the UAE, losing to West Indies, will carry 2 points. And unfortunately for the UAE, which you'd like to think will be the end of their trip, even though they'll be buoyed by the fact that they've made the Super Sixes, will enter the next round with no points. They will now compete against the other teams that have qualified in Group B. Teams will be moving around. There are some games still available or left in Bulawayo that will be played, but most of them will now move to Harare. It is the business end of what's going on. Let's go and join Jeff in Bulawayo and find out how Group B finished.
Thank you very much, Dirk. Quite right. Group A was a bit tight. However, in Group B, it was a lot different. Two teams, Zimbabwe and Scotland, after yesterday's dramatic tie, go through with 3 points. Afghanistan were done a favor as Nepal beat Hong Kong, and Afghanistan make it through to the Super 6. Unfortunately for them, they go through without any points at all. So it still goes down to the Super 6, and we look forward to see how this one will pin down. For Kwese Sports in Bulawayo, I'm Jeffrey Murimbechi.
And here's confirmation of the first set of Super 6's fixtures starting on Thursday. Athletics in South Africa has received a shot in the arm recently, with Liquid Telkom becoming the title sponsor of the ongoing Athletics Grand Prix series. Joining me from our sister studio is Liquid Telkom CEO Kyle Whitehill. Kyle, now congratulations on 2 entertaining meets in Ramshoek and Pretoria that not only delivered on talent, but more importantly, brought out the fans.
Oh, it was amazing, wasn't it? I had the pleasure of being in Pretoria last Thursday night to watch it live, and I couldn't believe how packed the stands were. I couldn't believe how big the queues were. I saw young people. I saw people all ages out there watching and enjoying the athletics.
Now, Kyle, the world-class athletics that came out recently included the likes of Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei, amongst others. Now, are there any plans afoot for Liquid to sponsor events like this throughout the continent?
Well, I'd love to see that next, because we in South Africa identified the opportunity, which was to support the South African events across these 3 different meets. And you're right, we saw some amazing athletes, didn't we? I had the pleasure of watching Justin Gatlin, and that's a real highlight for me. So I think because Liquid are present in 12 different countries across the continent, I would love to see us extend it into some of their countries so that everyone could take advantage of seeing the same quality of athletics as we did.
Awesome. Something for us to look forward to there. Thank you, Kyle. It was great talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You can catch more of Kyle on Seriously Sport after the news tonight. With cricket fever gripping Zim, locals have been flocking to match venues as the host nation hopes to book a World Cup ticket in 2019.
So far, the tournament has been very exciting, with Zimbabwe doing so well. I think for the first time, Zimbabwe has gathered a lot of fans, and you could see even from the crowds that were at Queen's. And I think as they go to Harare, I'm sure a lot of people will now start following cricket.
Okay. And then who has been your favorite player in the Zimbabwean side so far?
My favorite player, the man of the moment, Sikandar Raza. I'm sure he's going to take us far. He's going to take us to the World Cup. He's been doing so well, and even on the field, you could see him taking charge, not discarding what the captain was doing, but he was always there. He's in good form.
Hopefully she gets a wish. Now moving on to tennis, Venus Williams beat her sister Serena in the much-anticipated third-round clash at Indian Wells this morning. It was her first victory over a younger sibling since 2014. In the other surprise result, Carlos Suarez Navarro upset 4th seed Elena Svitolina 7-5, 6-3 to clinch a place in the last 16. Serena and Venus were meeting for the 29th time. The 8th seed came up with the only break of serve in the first set to lead 4-2 before closing it out with an ace. The second set was quite different with 5 breaks of serve, but Big Sis Venus came out on top once again for a 6-3, 6-4 victory.
She played so well, and it was, I think such a treat for everyone to see this match so early in her comeback. And I always know that it's never over until it's over, and she just came roaring back. I had chances for, the match to be over, but it wasn't, and, I'm just lucky that I've played more matches than her right now. Otherwise, yeah.
My room for improvement is incredible, so I just gotta keep saying each tournament, my goal is just to be better than the last, and I definitely don't want to go backwards. I just want to continue to go forwards, and I think as long as I can do that, I'll keep getting better.
Elsewhere, Daria Kasatkina and Anastasia Savastova also progressed. Action from the hard courts of Indian Wells continues tonight from 8 p.m. live on KS2. In men's action, it was another routine win for top seed Roger Federer as he cruised to a 6-2, 6-1 win over Filip Krajinovic in the third round. The win makes it 65-5 for the Fed Express since his return from a knee injury last year. It took less than an hour for the Swiss to beat Krajinovic, with the 25th seed only managing to take 2 games off the world #1 in the opening set. That was as good as it got for the Serb, as he couldn't even better that in the second. The win puts Federer on course for a record 6th BNP Paribas Open title. In other men's last 32 action, African hopeful Kevin Anderson saw off Nicholas Kicker in 2 tie-break sets to advance to the next round, where he'll face 11th seed Pablo Carreno Busta.
Team Sky's Michał Kwiatkowski is the 2018 Tirreno Adriatico champion after the 7th and final stage of the race in Italy. The Pole extended his race lead in a wet time trial, which was won by BMC's Rowan Dennis.
The race of the 2 seas came with its fair share of thrills and spills, and it was Team Sky's Michał Kwiatkowski who came out victorious on the final race day. He went into the finale with a slender 3-second advantage over Damiano Caruso of BMC Racing, who managed to hold on to 2nd place in the overall standings.
Tirreno Adriatico is one of the hardest stage races to win, so I'm really happy to be in the first step of the podium. Of course, it was a difficult week for all Team Sky. I put myself close in the GC straight from the beginning of the race with a great team control, and that's why I could win overall.
Kwiatkowski's fellow teammate Geraint Thomas leapfrogged Movistar's Mikel Landa into the final podium spot.
And with that, Kwiatkowski is the latest holder of the Tirreno Trident. The result is the Pole's 2nd win in 2018.
That's it from us tonight. Remember to tweet us at Kwese Sports using #KweseNews and follow us on Facebook at Kwese Sports.
To keep yourself up to date with all the latest sporting news, visit our website at kweseespn.com.
Don't forget to watch the latest again in the world of sports tomorrow.
From all of us here at Kwese Sports News, have a fabulous evening.
Good night.